So the next part is about whether, EEAT, so experience, expertise, authority, and trust, and the information that you include on your website, like, are there ways that you can actually influence what gets shown in the SGE answer? So what I've been thinking about is, like, in the SEO space, we've had the link building as a very important SEO factor for many, many years. And I'm wondering now, like, is link building going to continue to be as important in this SGE world? There seems to be a lot of examples where Google is not always pulling from the top ranking result to answer the question. In fact, it's often pulling from the page that ranks maybe position 30 or position 40, maybe because the way that they structure their content is a better answer for SGE, or because Google's looking for various different sites that kind of corroborate or that kind of say the same piece of information, of the same fact. And so this, like, uniformity of information, or this consistency of information across the internet, is something that could maybe get your site pulled into SGE because they see that you have the answer to the question that they're looking for. So maybe this is like a new way of thinking about, like, the new link building going forward, because it's like more about information accuracy and consistency across many different websites. So I wanted to test this a little bit, and this was a test that I did about 6 weeks ago. So the idea was to basically take questions that people might be asking about really explicitly answered online before. I just took some random information about myself. I created a brand new about page on my website, and I posed the question, and then I answered the question directly. And the goal was to see that, like, when I type that question into Google, into SGE, is it going to pull the information from my site? And I also wanted to check Bing Chat as well, because Bing Chat is basically Bing's version of SGE that they actually launched quite a bit before Google. But just seeing if there's a way to influence what these AI answers show. So the process was to collect these questions. You can use a tool like Also Asked, or looking at People Also Asked on Google itself, and just collect some of these questions people have about yourself or your brand. You can then answer those questions directly on your site, whether it's in your About page, your FAQ page, maybe your homepage. If you really want to go the extra mile, you can create structured data that kind of supports this information that you're adding to the page, whether that's like person structured data or organization structured data, maybe FAQ. For getting indexed on Bing, you can use Index Now, which is something that's actually included in Yoast Premium if you do use Yoast Premium, as well as some other plugins. But that just essentially allows your content to be indexed rapidly on Bing, which can then encourage the information to appear quickly in Bing Chat as well. With Google, you need to just make sure that the information is crawlable and indexable, and then you can use something like Google Search Console to kind of encourage Google to index that content. And then you just basically use SGE and monitor the results. So this is what it looked like. One of the questions I added to the website was, how is Lily Ray related to Man Ray? This is what the Google result looked like before I changed anything on my website. It was pulling a featured snippet from a website called Resident Advisor. I went to my new About page. I directly answered this question, and I was really excited to see that 1 week later, I typed the same question into Google, and I saw that SGE was pulling exactly what I put on my page. Not only that, it was using this headshot that I included on the page. So this was a way of controlling what SGE shows. I was really excited about this answer because, as you can imagine, if you do the same thing for your clients, for your brand, it's good to get ahead of what SGE is going to be showing about you. Another one that I asked and answered on my website was, what are Lily Ray's favorite cities? This is what it looked like before. It was pulling in from a tweet where I mentioned some of my favorite cities. I then added that change to my website, and about 2 weeks later, I did see that it was also pulling in from my new About page. It was accurate. It was actually taking what I put here and kind of like rephrasing it. So this was a perfect example of being able to control SGE answers. And it wasn't plagiarizing what I said. It kind of paraphrased it or changed the wording a little bit. So it's possible to influence SGE. Bing Chat also showed accurate answers for my content. So another thing to do is to make sure that you have consistency across the different sites that you're listed on or your clients are listed on. So if you are trying to optimize for a query about your brand, you don't want to have different websites saying different things about that information. You want to make sure that there's consistency. So in this case, I have a biography page on Search Engine Journal. I also have this LinkedIn page about myself. You want to make sure that, for example, what's listed on my bio page about Search Engine Journal is the same thing that's listed on LinkedIn, because these AI tools really are looking for consistency across different sites. So the more that you can get ahead of making sure that all this information is the same, whether it's the name of your brand, when your brand was founded, all this different information about your brand, just ensure consistency across different places. And the one piece of advice I would give now for anybody that does have access to SGE is to take a look at who's ranking and why. This is going to be the new challenge of SEO going forward. So I think not everybody has access to SGE, obviously. I think it's only technically available for US users right now, and it's still in beta. But if you are able to access it, what I would encourage you to do is start searching for the queries that are important for you and for your clients and for your brand, and see who's ranking and why. So again, what I think is very interesting is when you click the quotes here, you can see maybe 8 or 10 different sites that Google's pulling from. If you click these different quotes down here throughout the answer, you might see different companies appearing, or maybe you'll see the same company appearing multiple times. In this example, I typed, when is the best time to book a flight? I saw this website called Afar, not only mentioned here in the carousel, but also mentioned multiple times throughout the answer. And it was always going back to this one paragraph. So when you click on it, Google jumps and scrolls to this one little section here and highlights it. So there's something about the way that Afar worded this information that Google thinks it's a really great result, and they're actually including 4 different links to this website in the SGE result. I would encourage you to take a look at that. Maybe you can collect the text here that your competitors are seeing so many links from, and I wouldn't recommend copying them word for word, but look at how they're structuring the content and see if that's something that you can emulate on your own sites.